I studied hundreds of AI businesses, and here's everything I learned. And quick tip, if you want to get through this video quickly and save time, put the video in 2x speed. The first thing you have to understand is the hierarchy of AI monetization. Think of it as a pyramid. On the lowest and most foundational level, you have NVIDIA GPUs. Okay, these are the chips that are put into large data centers and they power the foundational models like ChatGPT, like Grok, like Gemini. Okay, so these chips are put into clusters and it's essentially the energy source for these large language models that we use every day. Okay, and then at the very top level, you have selling AI marketing services. You take these tools that are already created by other companies and you package them up into an AI infrastructure offer, or any sort of offer that you can sell to other businesses to help them with different problems like marketing, like sales, like systems, like automation. And it's the top of this pyramid because we're leveraging what's already built under us, the infrastructure that's already built by these other companies, and we're taking it and we're selling them ourselves. Okay, I'll touch more of that later in this video, but just understand this hierarchy as of now. Okay, and one of the main takeaways that I've learned from studying all these AI businesses is that although some people might have different opinions, Elon Musk might say this, Sam Altman might say this, Larry Ellison might say this, nothing is certain. Okay, nobody actually knows what's truly going to happen, and here's what I mean. So recently, I watched a podcast with Lex Friedman and Mark Andreessen. If you don't know who he is, he's an entrepreneur, venture capitalist, software engineer. He's best known. He played a massive role when it came to the creation of the internet. He was a co-author of Mosaic, which is a web browser. Co-founding Netscape, and he's basically worth $2 billion. Okay, so when he says something, it has an effect on the market, and he knows what he's talking about. And recently in this podcast, he said when it comes to AI, as the whole revolution is currently taking place, there are 8 different trillion-dollar questions that we do not yet have the answer to, and these questions, depending on what happens and how they're answered in the future, will play a tectonic massive role in what happens with AI. Okay, and here are the 8 different trillion-dollar questions. The first one is big models versus small models. Are large AI models more effective and cost efficient than smaller ones? Okay. The second one is open models versus closed models. Should AI systems be open source or kept proprietary for better development and control? The next one is the use of synthetic data. Can synthetic data significantly improve AI training outcomes? Because recently people have been saying that training these large language models is hit a ceiling, that we literally do not have enough data on the internet to see exponential improvement in training these AI models. And so when there's real life constraints placed on a business, that's when innovation happens. And one of the innovations that's a big question mark currently is synthetic data. Can we create artificial synthetic data to see exponential improvements, through these machine learning techniques in these AI models? The next one is chain of thought. How far can AI's reasoning be enhanced through structured thinking processes? The next one is reinforcement learning. Is reinforcement learning the key to advancing AI's ability to adapt and improve? The next one is political and policy questions. How will political and regulatory policies shape AI's future in different regions? The next one's hallucinations. Can AI be made reliable enough to eliminate inaccurate or fabricated outputs? That's a huge one. And the last one is chips. Will next generation hardware unlock new levels of AI performance and efficiency? These are all trillion-dollar questions, and depending on how one of these questions is answered, it's going to affect the other one. Okay, so these are all massive question marks that we still do not know the answers to. Even though some AI CEOs might say this is going to happen, they might give some abstract, crazy prediction. Nobody knows. Okay, nobody truly knows what's going to happen, and these are the big question marks. And so how do the top AI companies monetize the value they create? Paying for access. Okay, that's the answer. As of now, they're paying for access, or users are paying for access to the best models. The biggest players in the field like OpenAI, xAI, etc., build and improve their large language models and give it away for free. People who want exclusive access to the more advanced products and models pay a recurring fee for access. And so there's still a big question about what will be these companies' main long-term monetization strategy. It's a huge question because nobody knows for certain yet. As of now, there's been rumors recently that ChatGPT or that OpenAI plots to release $20,000 a month PhD level agents. Okay, and so OpenAI is reportedly planning to sell these agents priced anywhere from $2,000, $10,000, and up to $20,000 per month, with the highest tier for PhD level research. These agents could drive, it's estimated that's going to be 20 to 25% of OpenAI's long-term revenue. And according to reports, though the company hasn't officially confirmed the pricing, they're aiming at enterprise clients. And the move follows a $5 billion loss last year, but high costs have sparked debate about value and competition. So, OpenAI has been testing a lot of different plans, a lot of different monetization strategies, and this is the newest, rumor that's come out that they're going to be selling these agents for as much as $20,000 per month. Okay, and so monetization, how these large companies actually monetize these large language models, it's still a big question mark, and they're still testing it. We are in the very early stages of this entire revolution. And so by now you probably know that AI is a massive trend that will add trillions of dollars to the global economy and will change the world. But the truth is, if you want to partake in this trend and capture a piece of the value, it's impossible, basically impossible to compete with these large conglomerate companies who already have a large share of the market, you know, the OpenAIs, the xAIs, the Googles, okay? And so what is the best way to take advantage of this current revolution? Well, the answer is to actually go straight to the top of this pyramid, leverage what's already built by these other companies, and sell AI marketing services. Why? Unless you have $100+ million in resources and the smartest people in the world, selling AI marketing services is how you will create your wealth in the AI revolution. And so here's basically an overview as to top 3 reasons why it's the best opportunity. It's the easiest. You don't have to go out and, you know, hire people in Silicon Valley, fucking live in a garage, you know, for like 8 months straight building these technology pieces of technology without even validating it. You're already validating, you're already leveraging what's already built. It's the quickest way, it's the easiest, because these companies have already built the heavy lifting infrastructure that we're going to leverage to sell to other businesses and implement it for, you know, upwards of 5 figures. And so you're leveraging what's already built. And just because we aren't building LLMs or the biggest AI models in the world, like some of the largest companies are, it doesn't mean that most of the same rules don't apply. Okay, we're still playing the game of business. And so we need to focus on leveraging, building something once and then selling it forever, the same way that these large companies are. And so when it comes to selling AI marketing services, there's different routes to go about it. The first one is you can take months to learn every single AI tool and every single AI automation, how to connect Zapier, N8N to, you know, fucking go high level voice dialer. Like, you can take months to learn all that, or instead of doing that, you can find a painful problem that a market is having and build an AI infrastructure offer around that problem to solve it. Okay, you create a hypothesis around what are the problems that this market is facing. You know, make sure these people have money, make sure they're actually easy to find, make sure that the market is growing, and you build out a hypothesis of your offer, an AI infrastructure offer, a different sequence of mechanisms and AI tools to solve each problem for them. And you go out and you talk to the market and you validate it and you collect money and you allocate that money towards fulfilling it, okay, and getting more clients, which I'm going to show exactly later on. And so many of these large companies are realizing that large language model chatbots specifically are becoming commoditized, which is why monetization for these large companies is still a big question mark. And this is the exact reason we want to avoid spending valuable time learning different automation tools and platforms and instead focus on creating a valuable AI infrastructure offer and validating, okay? Because what was in demand a few months ago, a year ago, you know, yesterday, may not so be as much demand right now, okay? These tools, you know, this whole thing, this whole revolution is going so quickly that these tools are becoming commoditized at an extreme pace. For example, voice dialers. You know, if you're selling voice dialers a year ago today, you know, a year ago, a few months ago, you're probably able to sell it, you know, just voice dialer alone, just simply setting up a voice dialer system. Probably sell it for, you know, upwards of 1, 2, 3 grand. But now it's so easy, it's so much more accessible, and so many more people know about it that it's very tough to sell it unless you package it alongside other mechanisms into an AI infrastructure offer. So these mechanisms, these tools are becoming commoditized, and you need to fight commoditization, okay? And so an example of leverage, what it actually looks like, is you build a system once and you implement it to solve problems forever. The same way that these large companies are building these pieces of technology, these chatbots, and continuously improving them. They build it once and they make you pay for access for the more exclusive models forever. Okay, as long as you stay on for, you know, however long you want. Okay, so you build a system once, the AI infrastructure offer, and you're able to leverage it forever to continuously sell it and plug and play it into different businesses to solve painful problems. Okay, and so you want to get into the opportunity early. Why? Because of early movers advantage. And we're seeing the same exact thing with these large companies who got a head start on building these, large language models. And so starting an online business now versus 3 to 5 years ago is completely different. Back then, if you were flashing Rolexes and Lambos, you automatically rose to the top. You were seen as a king. Okay, you became a celebrity if you recorded yourself in a garage with your Lambo and your bookshelf. But now if you do that, you're most likely going to be viewed as a scammer. Why did this happen? It's because of market sophistication. In the early stages of a market, it isn't nearly as educated. People don't know really, what's true. They can't tell fake from reality. And so people they aren't as smart in the beginning of a new opportunity. But as time goes on, the market gets burned, loses trust, and becomes much more educated. This is why it is so much harder to get clients in 2025 opposed to just a few years back. It's because of market sophistication, okay? And so the way market maturity works is that in the beginning stages of a market, you have so many competitors, it's easy to separate yourself. There's so many different opportunities. But then as that market gets sophisticated over time, the only people that stay and take up most of the market share are the ones who are providing real value, okay? Not fake bullshit. They provide real value. They build a brand. They get actual results. They actually have a good product. They're not just good at marketing. They actually can provide real results. That's super important. The ones that got in early and were able to capture a share of that market earlier on, like we're seeing right now in this AI revolution, the ones who leverage network effects, this is extremely important, especially we're seeing with these companies who are competing, ChatGPT, Grok, the ones that can take advantage of network effects the most, that gets the most users on their platform earlier on, they becomes more valuable as a byproduct. And also the ones who have a competitive edge that can separate themselves from all the other competitors, okay? And so what happens is you go from this large pool of different competitors competing against each other to the ones that implement these different factors to only a few competitors being left that take advantage of most of the markets. Okay, this is how monopolies happen. This is why most markets, end up from a bunch of different fishes to a few sharks, a few monopolies left. They get a large slice of the pie. And why does this matter today? The reason why this is important is because the same exact thing is currently happening right now in this massive AI trend. An early mover's advantage in starting an AI business is important because it lets a company get ahead of the game. By being one of the first, they can grab a big piece of the market, build a strong reputation, and pull in the best people and resources before others catch up. It also gives them a head start to figure things out early and improve while competitors are still getting started. In a fast-moving field like AI, fast like we've never seen before, being early can mean staying on top for a long time. And so businesses have been hearing about AI, and they're already bought into the belief that it will change everything because it truly will. It's not fake. It's going to change everything. Okay, not just business, but the entire world. And so businesses also know that they need to adopt and implement AI into their business, or else their competitors will. Okay, and these competitors will take their market share and they won't be able to put food on the table. So there's real life urgency, there's real life scarcity, there's a real life demand for it. It's not fake. And so when you're selling something like content, ads, or some sort of offer that it's easily replicable, half the battle is selling the belief that your market needs your solution, or else they won't be able to survive without it. But due to the extremely high levels of competition, low levels of trust in the market, and increasing sophistication, which simply means people are getting more educated, like I talked about earlier, it is harder than ever to sell the belief that your market needs your commoditized solution. Okay, but the beauty of AI and selling AI is that every business is already bought into the belief that they need AI. Okay, why? Because of the reason I talked about here. They know that if they don't implement it, then their competitors will, and their competitors will take their food off the table. Okay, that's the reality of it. But they just don't know what is the best AI solution and how to implement it, which creates a gap in the market. There's a demand that exceeds the actual supply of it far more than the actual amount of people that can implement it. There's a huge gap in the market, and this is why it is so crucial to get in early. And so as time passes, the market will become more sophisticated and AI will increasingly become more accessible and commoditized, like I talked about earlier on. Okay, the market is going to mature. It happens with no matter what business or no matter what opportunity, the market is going to mature as a byproduct. It happens all the time. And so it's going to leave the entire market to only a few businesses that got in early and focused on providing quality value. And so if you start selling AI in the future, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible to succeed, but you just won't have the same opportunity as the one that we currently have. For example, if you wanted to start a large language model right now, like literally from scratch right now, it's not the same as if you started 2-3 years ago. Okay, it's just not. Okay, and so if you're somebody who's selling AI services to other businesses, you want to think of yourself as a capital allocator. I already touched on it in this video. Don't think of somebody, don't go out and just learn all these different AI tools and all these different skills. Think of yourself as a capital allocator. If your main goal is to, get financial freedom, location freedom, the basic things that every guru talks about. If you want to make a shit ton of money in this revolution, you don't have time to go out and learn all these different tools. You need to focus on leverage and actually building a business. And this is why I think there's such a huge advantage. And I'm not saying if you have technical expertise or if you already know how to do all this stuff, it's bad. But if you're going into this opportunity with the mindset of leverage and actually as a founder, an entrepreneur building a business, opposed to someone who's just focused on the technical side of things, then if you can frame your mind to switch that mindset, even if you are someone who's technical, then you have such a huge advantage. Okay, let's talk about what do capital allocators do. The main goal of a capital allocator is to create an offer that prints money. Then reinvest that money, simply allocating capital into things that will give them more leverage in the business. So things like talent, system, insights. Okay, and so what is leverage? Leverage simply means that you get more for what you put in. If you don't have leverage, it will take you 50 years, maybe even more, to make $1 million. Okay, imagine doing everything by yourself. Okay, and so this is a scenario that I made up that I think paints the picture of leverage pretty accurately. So two people are racing to a finish line. The first person is running to the finish line while the second person is driving a car to the finish line. The first person has to put in more effort and energy to reach the finish line in 30 seconds, while the second person simply pushes the gas pedal with their foot to reach the same destination in 5 seconds. The second person is in a better vehicle. They cover more distance while using less effort and energy. They also reach the destination faster. Why? Because they're in a better vehicle. The first person, they have to physically run, move each foot a few inches off the ground, sweating, tired. By the time they reach the finish line in 30 seconds, the person who's in the car simply pushing their foot like this, going 10 times the speed of the person on foot, reaching it in like 1/10 of the time. It's because they're in a better vehicle. They're more leveraged. And that's all technology is. It adds leverage to the world. Okay, it decreases the delta between our inputs and the outputs we get for our inputs. And so if you never obtain leverage, you will be the guy running to the finish line. Get access to capital by selling your offer, then reinvest that capital into things that give you leverage. And what are the four main forms of capital? It's code, capital, labor, four main forms of leverage. It's code, capital, labor, and media. And so if you want to learn how to sell AI infrastructure offers for upwards 10 grand a pop, in this trend that we are currently very early on in, then you can join the AI Scaling Specialist community. First link in the description, completely for free. We have hundreds of people in there all looking to grab a piece of this massive AI trend, this massive AI revolution that's currently happening. We're always providing actionable insights. I'm always active in there. If you want direct access to me, that's where you can find me. I'm always looking to provide value, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye.